It looks like a scene straight out of the American Wild West. Until you see this. A helicopter chasing wild Mustang horses across the California range. This is the largest wild horse roundup in the country. Something that, depending on your point of view, is either essential to the welfare of the horses or a cruel and unnecessary punishment. Dozens have died in previous roundups, over 100 in nearby Nevada just last year, making this an extremely controversial event, and one that many want to see banned completely.
I've never witnessed anything as devastating as I saw yesterday. I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make this right for them if I can, because this is the wrongest thing I've ever seen.
Once they're caught, the horses are penned. And animal welfare activists complain. Wild animals corralled for the first time in their lives suffer unbearable stress.
Once that wild horse is in a trap, he's a wild horse, he's under stress. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Any wild animal that's captured and put in a cage is not a happy animal.
But it's for the good of the horse population out here that there are these roundups done?
Well, yes, I think it's essential.
2,500 Mustangs roam wild here. All of them will be rounded up in the next 6 weeks. 458 lucky ones will then be released back onto the range, but not before most of the mares have been sterilised. Because 458 is how many the government think can survive on the meagre vegetation and limited water that's available here. This is what everyone wants to see, wild horses left entirely to their own devices out here on the range. But the Bureau of Land Management say if you leave too many of them out here, you won't be watching them peacefully grazing, you'll be seeing them dying of starvation and dehydration instead. Wild horses symbolise the Wild West, so they tug on American heartstrings like no other animal. Protesters failed to prevent this roundup, but attempts to have the practice stopped entirely are gaining support in Congress. A misguided mistake, say the land managers.
Since there really aren't very many natural predators for these, maybe a mountain lion wouldn't be able to control a herd, so the herds would grow to the point where they wouldn't have enough food and water and they would die off.
That's just natural, isn't it?
Well, it's not kind. It's not humane, and that's not something that we as land managers want to see happen. We care about these horses.
They care enough to try and find all these horses new homes. They could be put to work, they could be kept as pets. For just $125, you could take one home. But adoption rates have recently dropped dramatically.
Too many horses in the system to be adopted now. So, this is the really bad, sad thing, is that we're positive that many of these wild horses go to slaughter in Canada and in Mexico.
Not true, say the rangers. Any horses that can't be adopted or sold will be sent to long-term pasture in the Midwest, living out their days grazing fertile plains at taxpayers' expense. Only a blessed few will return to the range, survivors of a roundup that may never be allowed to happen again. Sarah Smith, Channel 4 News, Twin Peaks, California.